Dollyverse friends, it's been a while. I'm behind on my editing schedule because I got really caught up with work this week and some other things that I got going on. And I just completely forgot that I was supposed to be working on a video this weekend. But anywho's, so I'm just gonna give you guys a little show and tell of my new setup, I guess, of how I'm storing my dolls and how I am kind of organizing my doll stuff, and give you guys maybe some ideas for what you might be able to incorporate or steal from the things that I've been doing, and just for the hell of it, because why not? I love watching other people's like doll rooms and how they have their things stored and situated, and it really does help me to get some ideas. So I thought I would just do something like that for this upload, and then I will continue working on my edit that I was supposed to be finishing up this weekend. Yeah. Alright, so of course, if you're new here, then make sure that you are subscribed. You might see more videos of me doing things like this, just being totally rough and having the audacity to get on camera. Alright, so let's see what we got going on, y'all. Welcome everyone to my Dollyverse. Bienvenidos a mi Dollyverse. Here, this is my little display on my wall. It's right above my bed. And this one is basically just all of my boxed Barbie Looks dolls, the entire collection. We've got our extra Barbie Rewind dolls up on top of the Barbie Looks dolls. And this display, it's literally being held up by the BMR 1959 doll boxes, you guys. I literally just thumbtacked these to my wall. They've been holding up these dolls for weeks, okay? The ones on the bottom have been here for months. So this is a pretty sturdy setup here. And then on this wall, I've got my acrylic shelves. And some of you guys have been asking me about these acrylic shelves, so let me give you guys a little bit more information on them. I got them from Amazon, but basically I just did a search for acrylic shelves, and I wanted them to be a certain depth. So the ones that I have, I think they're about maybe 2 inches deep, I think. It's not more than 2 inches deep. As you can see, my male doll, his entire shoe takes up like the whole space that he's standing in. From the side. Yeah, so that should give you an idea of how deep these shelves actually are. Not very. And most of my dolls are standing here freely, like they're leaned up against the walls, but some of them I actually tacked them to the wall. So let's see if I can find you an example of one. My Barbie Looks model number 1, she's tacked to the wall, and I just took like a little tiny thumbtack and just pierced article of clothing up into the wall so that it would keep the doll from falling forward. Even if you only did that with every other doll, the ones in between can kind of just stand in there once they're wedged up against each other. So they're pretty secure, and what I'll do is after I set them up the way I want, I'll knock on it like this. I'll tap it from the bottom a whole bunch of times, and then I'll tap my walls to make sure that the vibrations aren't going to make the dolls move. So once they're secure enough that they're not moving when I vibrate what they're standing on, then I'm satisfied with the level of, you know, security that they have against the wall. So that's basically all I did. This is a really convenient display because I can just take the dolls down and change them out one by one without disturbing an entire like line of dolls, or I can take them all down and just change the entire display. But I can see like I have little subgroups, like these are all of my redhead Barbie dolls that I just wanted to put on display. I have other redheads, but they're not Barbie brand, they're not Mattel basically, so I chose to only keep my redhead Mattel dolls over here for this little group. But of course I do have a couple other redheads that are on a different display too. Anyways, and then for these guys, I wanted them to have a black, white, silver color scheme, so these dolls are all dressed in those kinds of colors to match each other, and they're just all hanging out. You know, you could do all your blonde dolls, you could do all your dolls with braided hair, you could do all of your guy dolls, however you want to do it. But there's like little subgroups, little cliques of dolls that I've got together here in my rooms, in my bedroom. I have another bunch of body donors that I have in box. You guys know I don't keep my dolls in boxes, so when you see dolls in boxes like this, they're usually body donors for me. It's a way for me to keep track of them without getting mixed up if I take them out of the box, until I have time and space to label them properly so that I know which body belongs to what doll when they don't have heads. So I actually just, guys, thumbtacks are my best friend. Like, I just thumbtacked everything to the wall, and this row right here is actually what's tacked to the wall, and above them they're just wedged into the wall. So I just basically did it in such a way that I knew that when I was done, the dolls on top would be able to just get kind of smushed in place without having to be secured by anything, and it totally worked. Holding that sewing kit together, and my Willow Lichtenstein doll that's in box, who I will be using not as a body donor but a head donor. I'm going to be repainting. And there's the one that's out of box. Here I've got, this is a little toolbox kind of thing that I have that I got from the hardware section over in Walmart. It cost about $13, maybe a little bit less. So this weird looking thing is a ceramic puppy dog that I made when I was a little girl in Korea at school in art class. I was in 2nd grade, and I made this just before I was leaving to go to America. I left it with my grandmother for safekeeping. And I told her to promise to give it back to me the next time we see each other. And so she's been holding on to this thing all these years. When I went back to visit her in my teen years, I saw that she still had it. And I was like, oh, yay, you still have my little doggy that I made you. But since then, her memory was starting to fade just before she passed a few years ago. And I was like, do you remember where this is from? And she's like, yeah, when your cousins made it. She was close. It was me, but she thought one of my cousins had made it. So I was like, no, I made this for you, silly. I bagged it from my grandmom's house just before she died, because I was like, you know, I need a keepsake of my grandmom, and this thing totally reminds me of my grandmom because I gave it to her as a gift. So I just took it back. Yeah, so now it's here in my house. But anyways, it makes me happy whenever I see it because I think of my grandmother. Yeah, so it's a nice memory. So I just have that on top of this little thing, and it's very convenient. I put the 2 rows of things that I need to access the most on the bottom because I'm short, and you can pull out the entire drawer. Whenever I need to do something with these items that are here, I'll just pull the entire drawer out and then go sit wherever I've got my dolls at that I'm doing something with, and it's very convenient. And then I just put them back when I'm done. The next thing I gotta show you guys, I have to get on, I have to like jump on top of my bed. Well, not jump, but walk on top of my bed to reach. This is one of my little closets that I had made for my dolls. I know that I can just throw everything into like a bag or a box to store my dolls' clothes, and some of the dolls' clothes are stored that way, but for me, I'm a visual person. It's so much easier for me to just look at what's hanging up and pull down the stuff that I need when I see it. So that's just the way I like to do it. And I got all of these hangers from Amazon for dirt cheap. I think I just got like a lot of jackets in here and long dresses that I don't really need to access often. And then this little, what do you call this thing? And this little contraption is just some dresses that I folded up and stuck in there. I'm still working through this stuff because I need to reorganize everything a lot better, but it is what it is. It's mostly like dresses. Like, I don't really put a lot of dresses on my dolls, so I'm not really worrying about it. And because I do have like different kinds of storage space in here, I can add more things to my storage area than just stuff that's hanging up. Like, I have a little drawer here, and why is it empty? I don't know. But yeah, so up here I have my bigger closets, I guess. This one's a little bit newer. I've got all of my shirts hanging up here, color coordinated, and all of the pants hanging up, not hanging up, all of the pants are folded up on the top shelf there. This little thing with the bins, that's got some more pants in it, I think, and that actually is supposed to go to a set that belongs to the My Life As dolls at Walmart. So I do use some bigger scale doll accessories and furniture and things for my Barbie dolls, because I think that they're a better scale and I can store a lot more stuff in them. It's very lightweight because it's made of foam board, and then I'll just pull it down when I need to access things. Okay, the bulk of my doll stuff is actually in here, inside this dresser and in these drawers that my dolls are standing on top of. So we're gonna open up the drawers and look at everything inside. Okay, so we're gonna start with the plastic bins. So I labeled everything here. This top part here, that's just my like own personal junk, like my hair stuff that I just threw in there. This side is on the bottom. These are my reject body parts and supplies for certain art projects and things like that. These are like clothes that are very costumey that I don't really put on my dolls like that, but they came with. Some of them I like and I plan to keep, and some of them I'll probably end up selling or giving them away. There's like furniture pieces. So it's just like random stuff like that in here that's labeled donor bodies. This is where I keep my actual donor bodies that don't have heads. When I find a doll that matches the skin tone, I'll give them bodies. This one in the bag, she's damaged because she's missing a foot. And I thought I had the foot somewhere so I could repair it, or at least try to repair it, but I'm not sure if that can be salvaged, so I'll probably end up giving that body to a doll that I throw into a wheelchair perhaps. Now that we actually have some wheelchair props that are easily accessible. And then these guys on the end, they're just extra heads on extra bodies. They're not really part of my actual live collection, if you want to call it that. And then these girls in here that I just threw on top of the bodies, they're works in progress that I'm giving makeovers to, and I'm not done with them yet. So I just threw them in there so they wouldn't get in my way until I have time to work on them. And then down here we've got our male dolls group B and C. You guys know I break my dolls up into smaller categories. And what is all over this? I don't know what is all over this dresser. I don't know. It looks like it's like something spilled in front of it or splashed into it or something. In here is where I keep all of my male dolls that are in group B and C. So some of these guys I'll take out every once in a while and use them for something. They're usually characters for our show that have specific like parts, roles and stuff in different shows, and they have like their own character backstories and such. This guy here is actually a body that I customized in this really dark tone, and I was just playing around with that doll, experimenting, trying to see what I could come up with. But anyway, so this is my male group A dolls, which are like basically either my favorite ones and or the ones I display the most, and or the ones that I just have a liking to more than my other male dolls. Just aesthetically are the ones that I like looking at the most. So these guys are basically ready to be posed whenever they get dressed. And if you've noticed, all of the dolls that I've shown you guys that are in these bins are nude, except for the ones that I'm working on to customize. But everything else, I decided I'm gonna start keeping all of my dolls nude from now on, because once they're in storage, because it helps me to inventory the clothes a lot better. And also, like, I only want the dolls that are on display to be wearing clothes. It just makes it a lot easier to find clothes when I'm trying to figure out where certain clothes are, because they're already on dolls and like I can't remember which doll is wearing what piece. So it just makes it a lot easier to find clothes this way. And then this last drawer on the top says custom repaint tools. So these are all of my tools that I use when I'm trying to customize dolls, repaint dolls. I got another doll back there who I'm thinking about giving that body to. Yeah, so they're just hanging out together because I have not decided if I actually want to give her that body or not, and it's pending. All right, next, this dresser, which Adonis got me recently, I have, the whole thing is filled with doll stuff, okay? So on this side, which is like further away from where I normally sit and like look for stuff and work on things, this I labeled as my supplies, and this is just where I'm keeping most of my customizing and crafting supplies. They're all underneath this mound of stands and everything is like labeled and organized in there, even though you can't see it. But I needed to put all these stands away, so I just threw them in there because there was a lot more space left in there until I can figure out what I'm going to do with them later. I'm probably going to dismantle them. So I've got my label maker down here, my book where I keep all of my doll inventory records and sculpt study information, and like grail dolls that I want to buy that I'm going to forget about if I don't like obsessively look at them, I'll write all of that stuff down, because I know I will forget, and then I want to go back to those notes and look at them. But that's where the little box of heads lives. So goodbye, guys. See you later, getters. Poor things, they live in the dark. All right, so now this is where I keep my hairstyling tools and repainted sculpts. In here is all the hair stuff. It's so much easier, guys, to find things and put things back where they belong when you label them. So even if you don't have like a fancy label maker, get some tape, get some paper, and write it down, decorate them if it makes it easier for you to, you know, look at it and keep track. But I highly suggest that you do this because it is so much easier to keep track of your dolls. And then all of my repainted dolls and my extreme customized dolls are in here, and I just have them stored the same way that I have all of the other dolls in the other drawers stored. So they're just laying in here. Now, of course, these are just the ones that are not on display. So like I have other dolls that would fit into these drawers by category, but because they're on display, you're not going to see them in there. All right, so now this is basically my main dolls that I mess with the most. So on the bottom it says multi-sculpt Barbie, the middle says single sculpt, and the top say display all stars. Those are the ones that I usually display the most. But I also have this drawer here, so you'll see I have some Disney faces in here. I'm still missing Ariel. I don't know, I don't like the regular classic princesses. I like very like obscure characters, like the ones from certain movies that they're not as well known or popular, I guess. But as far as like the Disney characters, those are the ones that I like. So that's why I don't have like Snow White, Cinderella, and all of them blonde girls, because I don't got time for them. I like the ones that are like really like hard to find. What is that one from the one movie? I don't know, I can't remember the name, but I want to say it starts with an A. Yeah, I'll put her up on the screen. Her and the Little Mermaid, but like the Little Mermaid, I need her to be very specific. Like the face sculpts, I don't like some of them because they're just so freaking smiley and cartoony that they just make me cringe. So there's like a specific Ariel that I like, so I need to like kind of look for that particular one. All my Integrity girls are in here, of course, and that aren't on display. Some of my Ever After High, I only have one Ever After High doll actually. And who's these people? These are Project Empty Squared dolls, Fresh dolls, just a little mixture in here. You know who else belongs in here? The Pretty Girls dolls, but I didn't put them in here because they're not a single sculpt. I don't have only one of them, so that's why I didn't put them in there, but whatever. This is the multi-sculpt Barbie drawer, and let me see if I can put this. There we go. Okay, here we go. This is the multi-sculpt Barbie drawer. Goodness, they're so upside down. The reason I store them upside down like this with the heads, you know, this way, is because I can just look for their faces. I don't even have to pull the drawer out that much. I can just kind of scan the faces and be like, which one was I looking for? Oh, Serene. There she is, right there. Which one am I looking for? Oh, Mini Gypsy. She's right here. Wait, which one was I looking for? Oh, that's right. Rosalie. She's right there. So I can see their faces a lot better this way. And that's why I'm storing them like this. And these are the dolls that I have multiple sculpts of. So you probably have seen most of these in my sculpt study series. If you haven't watched that, go check it out, where I'm showing you guys all the dolls that I have multiple sculpts of, and I named them for you, and I try to give you guys a little bit of information on the original dolls that they were before I got them and turned them into hybrids, because a lot of my dolls, as you can see, have made to move bodies or articulated joints, and most of them didn't come this way. I almost always rebody my main dolls. So this is actually my single sculpt Barbie drawer, and these are the dolls that I only have one sculpt of that I own. So they're all hanging out in here, and I have not done a detailed video for you guys yet with these dolls. These are just the ones that are in my drawer, you guys, not counting the ones that are already out in display around my house. These are my all-star dolls that are like the main ones that I keep on rotation that are out on display at any given time. These are the ones that I almost always go looking for to dress and put out on my shelves. So I just threw them all into one drawer so that they're much easier to find, because almost always I'm like, where's so one? And then I'm like looking for the doll, and I don't want to be on a scavenger hunt looking for dolls. So you can see here that Sebastian is here, and there's like boys in here too, because I have my favorite guys that I like to keep out on display as well. And Kieran is here. I don't know if there's any other boys in here right now, because a lot of my favorite boys are actually out on display. I've got some dolls that are out on display in different parts of my house. I'm just gonna start with these guys for y'all, because in this video, because I don't want it to be super duper long. I think it's already kind of long, and I just don't feel like going in the other parts of my house looking for them. Okay, first let's look at these people. I have them all kind of facing to the side because this is normally where I stand. There's like my computer is down here, so I'm usually standing here doing things, and I like my dolls looking at me. Is that weird? So so I turn their faces towards where I'm most likely going to be standing to see them. So it looks like, you know, they're waiting to see me. So hey, what's up, y'all? So over here I've got, let's see, I'll be trying to test myself to see if I can remember dolls' names if I haven't like handled them in a while. We've got Adonis on the end. He's an Integrity Toys doll. And then we've got Siren. We've got Layla and Kimbella. Ooh, I remembered it. All right. And then right here, I've got my little display on top of the plastic bins. This is very temporary, you guys. I still need to perfect this area because I like the way I have it set up, but the method that I use to set it up is not quite right. So I still need to work on this. So you're gonna see me giving you guys updates as I figure this out. But like, I know what I need to do. I just don't have the supplies to actually execute it just yet. Anywho's, so up in the front, we've got the Barbie Rewind girls that I will be showing you guys with more detail up close in a video that I'm working on. And I've got this one, I named her Luma. I named this one back here, I named her Time. And then next to her is Brilliant, or Brilly as I like to call her. And the Barbie doll on the end is now named, what's your name? Is Tabitha. So we've got Tabby, Brilly, Timey, and Lumi. Okay, so then we've got a bunch of other dolls behind them, of course. I'm not gonna go through and name all of them, you guys. Maybe just for fun, I'll pop their names up on the screen for you, and you can kind of get a better look and pause the video on the dolls that you are interested in looking at more. This is my latest custom doll that I'm working on. So this is Armani. She has another name too. I gave her purple eyes and purple baby hair, and I gave her some deep purple lips. And I still have a few other things that I want to do to her before I would consider her finalized, I guess. But I decided that I was gonna keep her in pink and purple for a little while, because I think those colors look good on her and matches with her hair pretty good. And I love her braids. Like, I love these braids. Ugh, they're so cute. I love these braids on my other doll too, my BMR doll, with the Billy sculpt. She's freaking amazing. These two are the only dolls that I have that are female dolls that have these kinds of braids. And then the rest of them that I have that have braided hair, I braided it myself, so the braids don't look quite like these. Who else? We've got Wailani here in the back, one of my favorite dolls. Griselda, one of my favorite dolls. Simba here, wearing my son's clothing that he made for him. Yeah, Gino made these Asian clothes for him and for Tunjin there in the back. And then I've got my Lunar New Year doll here, who I call Nano. And we've got my Grail, my two absolute Grail Ken dolls right here next to each other, Atlas and Amadeus. A couple of Barbie Lux dolls back here. I really love her. Daleen, the blonde one in the back there. She's a Barbie Look doll from Wave 2. I think her face is really cute. She has a lot of personality. And I love the way they did her makeup. I just really like her a lot. Most of these dolls that I'm showing you guys, I've done videos on them in the past. So you can just scroll through our playlists at the reviews and look at them. And also you can look at the detail videos that I have for some of these dolls. Not all of them, but a whole lot of them. And this is another redhead. But I didn't want her up on that display with the other redheads because I don't think she's a natural redhead. You know what I'm saying? Like in my book, she's wearing a very highly priced, because you can see it's like 36 inches after she straightens these curls. So to me, she's just wearing like a really high priced virgin hair freaking lace front wig. And that's why her hair is like this. It's not even red, y'all. Like up close, this doll has like purple and orange tint in her hair along with the burgundy color. So it's a freaking phenomenal color. Like the only doll I have in my collection with this very unique blend of hair colors. I could not put her up there with the other redheads because they look like they're natural redheads, and this definitely does not look like a natural red hair color. So I just was like, nah, she can't go up there with them. But anyways, I love this doll's hair though. I did curl it myself. That's why her hair looks like with some curls up in them. And here's Ileana up in the front. I love her on this little thing. I don't know what this is called. It's just a block with like musical instruments on it. And I got it right after Christmas time when everything went on sale. So it was like $2 or something. It was like really cheap. Maybe it might have even been like 75 cents. I don't even know if it was a whole $2. Gigi Hadid up in the front there, who I call Marley. Got my Selma sculpt up here. Another Poppy Parker up here that Adonis got for me. That is freaking amazeballs. She's so pretty. And my two darlings. I finally got rid of her unibrow. I was really debating whether I should or shouldn't erase it, but I couldn't take it anymore. Because she's not Frida Kahlo in my collection. Like, it's supposed to be the Frida Kahlo Barbie, but I always change my dolls from whatever character they came with to my own. You know, I love me some Frida Kahlo, and her whole story is amazing, but I didn't buy this because I'm a fan of hers. I bought it because I just like this face. She has the same sculpt as the Luciana doll as well. And this sculpt, if I'm not mistaken, well now, because I only used to have this one, but since I have two of them, now they would basically go into a multi-sculpt category. These guys have the same facial sculpt if you're interested in looking for that head sculpt, because it's a really cute one and it's a little hard to find. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and just taking a look at my little setup that I have and how I'm storing my dolls and the way that I'm displaying some of them. And I hope you guys got some ideas. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section. Some of y'all be asking me like about other people's dolls. Like you'll tag me in a photo of some other collector's doll and then be like, what's this doll? Who is this doll? And I'll be like, why are you asking me? I don't know what doll is that? I don't know. So like those kind of questions, like I can't answer those kind of questions for you guys because I don't know what every single Barbie is in existence. I just know what I know about the things that I know about, you feel me? And most of the dolls that I have, I know about. So if you're asking me questions about my dolls, I can give you some answers. But anybody else's dolls, anyone else's art technique, anyone else's repainting techniques, like I don't know how I'm supposed to answer these questions for y'all because I don't know. Leave the questions in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you have anything else you want to see about my collection, then be sure to ask me in the comments so I can make time to get those videos out to you guys, okay? Like and subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff that people tell you to do at the end of the videos. You already know what they are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Catch me over on Instagram or even on TikTok, although I don't have a lot of content over there just yet, but we're getting there. And you can connect with us on multiple social media platforms, so come and find me, okay? My name's Gypsy. You're watching Broken Dolly TV, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're gonna go have... What are we gonna do, guys? We're gonna have a Dolly day.